Welcome to Relentless. I'm your host, Matthew Chowdy. Relentless addresses all the questions and issues relevant to a first-year university student. We try to talk about all those issues and things you might be scared to ask your professor or your parents. This is where we help you overcome the problems of tomorrow right now. I'm here with my guest, Nader Hanna. Mr. Hanna is the founder of Henner's Design Co. and is the CTO of Home Foods. Nader, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Man, what a hard question to start with.
That's life. Tell me, who are you?
I hate that question. Well, I'm Nader Hanna. I was born in Cairo, Egypt, and I moved here when I was 13, currently 23, so about 10 years ago. I went to University of Toronto for a couple of years, and that didn't work out because I'm a horrible student. And now I'm here. Yeah.
Awesome. So what's your ventures right now? What are you working on?
Right now I have a web design company and a design firm with a bunch of friends, and it's called Henner's Design Co. We've been working on a few ventures with that. And then I just recently joined the team over at Home Foods with a bunch of people in the city, Tom Malone and some of the Giulianis. And the idea is we deliver home-cooked meals by local chefs to different homes, I guess, hence the name Home Foods. And yeah, it's wholesome, smart, good food that gets delivered straight to your home as soon as you call us.
Awesome. That's great. So here at a show, we talk about first-year university. So can you describe first-year university to me? I know you're from Windsor, right? And you went to Toronto. Can you explain that for us?
Yeah, I went to University of Toronto. First-year university. First-year university was really good, really bad, and that was mostly it. There wasn't a lot of, in between. If you think about it, it's just really high highs and really low lows, and you kind of try to navigate as you figure things out. I had the distinct fortune or misfortune of moving for school, and that was a really good experience. I got to live on my own, learn how to budget, learn how to study. Nobody's, harassing you to do things, and that was really good. I also learned a lot about myself, learned about what I value in community, what I value in others, and different things like that.
That's awesome. What were your biggest mistakes, you'd say, for first year university outside of Windsor?
I think one of my biggest mistakes had to come academically. High school, you can kind of just coast. I don't know if that's the fault of our education system or my fault, but you can just kind of coast. You can kind of hang out and do your own thing, and you can realistically get by with high 80s, low 90s without really working.
For you in particular, yeah.
I think most people at this point. But I hate university, and that's not the case at all. You think you're smart, you think you're cocky, and that was not the case. You'd go to lectures and you say, yeah, I'd have a decent handle on this. But the one thing I learned is that you're not going to be spoon-fed things. You're going to have to be proactive in how you approach your learning and how you approach your education. So that meant going to office hours because I felt dumb and I didn't know anything that the professors were talking about. That meant researching things at home. That meant going to study groups with your friends. The one thing I learned, I guess, is that your education is not going to be spoon-fed to you in university. The onus is on you. You're paying the money. You have to approach that education as if that's your full-time job. So anything to do to succeed, you need to grab that. And unfortunately, that's something I didn't do right away, and I suffered because of that.
I see. I think a lot of us go through that too. I remember going through that as well. Obviously, I was not at the University of Toronto, but
I think that it goes across the board, though, for any student, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess so. What was the changing point then for yourself, or was there any changing point during the first year?
For sure. One of the changing points, to be honest, was failing. I failed hard. I started getting 40s and 50s and stuff I just wasn't seeing before. And that prompted something. I was going into debt for this, and I was crapping on it. I said, here's the $6,000 for tuition, and I took a dump on that because I didn't care, and I wasn't proactive with my education. And that was a huge wake-up call for me to do something.
So what did you start doing to change that? Or in your mind, did you have to start organizing things better, or did you go to tutors? How did you work out?
I think two things were really key for me. One was starting to make friends with people inside the university and joining study groups and stuff like that. And what that did for me was it provided accountability. I can't just not show up. I can't not just do something because somebody's always asking about it. So yeah, one, I got accountability, and I got friends who were in the same place as me to kind of help me along. Two, I started going to office hours. You start knowing the professor, you start getting kind of inside their head, you know how they're thinking, how they want to present the exams to you, how they present their projects to you, what they want to see, how they want you to accomplish things. And profs are cool, man. Like, these are people that have been studying the area you're passionate about for years and years and years. They've dedicated their lives' work to that, and those are people that are worth hanging out with. Those are people that are worth picking their brains because they know way more than you do, as much as you don't believe it, but it's true.
Well, you mentioned passion. So what was this program? I don't believe we said it. What program were you in?
I was in computer science.
Okay. So in computer science, this was your passion, or is this something that you're kind of like, a lot of people go through first year trying to figure out what they want, right? So did you walk in knowing what you wanted, or how did that work for you?
Yeah, I walked in kind of having an idea of what I wanted to do. I mean, ever since grade 10, I've wanted to do something that had to do with computers. I mean, my family's been doing it for a bit, and there was no pressure there from them, but it was just something that I thought was super interesting. You get very immediate results. You type something, and you can see it in front of you, or you can see that logic work, and I was in love with that.
So I guess, I don't know, for me and looking at other people that I watch with university and myself, I noticed that people that aren't passionate about like a degree, they first walk into it, you know what, they have reason to go, no, I'm just going to poop on this degree because I'm really not feeling it and I can let go. But you had that passion. So why, even though you had the passion, how come you still let yourself go on this like bad route, I guess?
I think you think that passion alone can carry you through something. And we've been kind of conditioned to think that in like our society. You watch a movie about, I don't know, a dude who's passionate about soccer, and his passion will take him through the practice, and the passion will take him through whatever he needs to. Or a dude who's passionate about playing the violin, so on and so forth. And you think that passion alone will get you to do something. But I think passion starts the process, or passion is like kindle. It's up to you to stoke that fire. It is up to you to do something with that idea, with that passion inside of you. It's just not gonna self-sustain. You need discipline, you need organization. And those are some things I lacked, and it was a huge reason of why I didn't finish my degrees.
So you wanted to quit. I get that. So
I actually did end up quitting.
You did?
That's the sad part, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, what did you do after you quit?
I guess first thing I did when I quit was like, let's get rid of this debt. So I worked as an electrician for a bit. And to know what you really love to do something you don't want to do. That's like Casey Neistat tip right there. And then that's right away when I knew like, no. I'm not born to do this. This is not what I thrive off. This is not what I feel at home at doing. I need to be doing what I signed up for earlier on.
So that's how you knew that was your route. That's awesome. And so now you own Henner Design Co. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that. How was the beginning process of this business?
I mean, to be honest, I'm still in the beginning process realistically. I only have a few clients. I'm still working through that. I don't know. I didn't do the whole like quit everything and drop everything in my life and start doing that. I work as a web developer still. And that's a part-time gig to allow me to pursue Henner's Design. And that's been great. But honestly, it's a lot of iteration, a lot of going to people and say like, do you want to do this? Yes. All right. Well, I'll show you this. All right. Let's go through this again. And for lack of a better term, there's a lot of whoring yourself out. I mean, you do stuff for free because you get your name out. But I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Do you think with an education you could have done something different?
I think in the particular area of web design, I haven't found education to be a block. I think if I was to work for somebody else, or if I was to advance myself in a corporate world or a corporate setting, I think education might have been a bit of a boost. I still regret not finishing school. It was something that
So
that
you
I
would go
started,
back.
and yeah, oh for sure, I definitely would go back, and I'm making active plans actually to go back.
Awesome.
It's something I started and I didn't finish, and I don't like that at all. I don't like the fact that that's something that's hanging over me.
Like, I don't know, we're talking about first years here. So what would you tell a first year student that wants to quit and he's at this ending of his part where he's just like where you were and you quit and obviously you went and paid off your debt, but you found yourself. But what would you tell that person that you, during that time, before you quit, that you wish you would have done to help you not quit? Or talk to someone, like, you know what I mean? Like, what was that for you? What would you think? What would you tell that first year student?
Honestly, I would tell him quit.
Yeah?
Really?
Tell me why.
I think I'd tell him quit because I know that experience is the best teacher. And different people are different. I know my wife, you can tell her, like, I've experienced this and this is how I feel about it. And she will be like, okay, that makes sense to me. I'm not going to do this, or I'm going to do this. I'm stubborn and I'm not always teachable, and that's something I'm trying to work on. But I know that experience is the best teacher, and I feel like so many people around us are born that way, where experience is the best teacher. And it's something we need to work on, but I'd say quit. Find yourself. Do something that you want to do. And if you have the facility to go back to school, do it. But take a year off, re-examine things. Go work. Go do make a job. Go do something you don't want to do, and then go back.
That's pretty cool. I actually kind of reminds me of like experiences and how we call it the first girlfriend syndrome, I guess.
Yeah.
Where your parents tell you no, this isn't the girl, and your friends tell you no, but you still make that dumb choice and you go date her anyway. And then you find out it's not worth it, and then you go to your brother like, don't do that, don't. And then they go do it, but they have to because it's part of an experience that they have to learn for themselves in order to understand. I totally get that.
And I wish it wasn't that way. It's something I'm actively working on. I know I've talked to you about it before, is the idea of, like, I want to be teachable enough that I can trust other people's experiences and not have to go through it my own.
That makes sense to me. Well, any last thoughts for these first-year students that are I don't know, just on the brink of passion and running for something and they can't see it, but they want to get something else?
Just think if I had to leave with something, kind of a longer discussion, is passion and zeal for something is not going to get you to your end goal. Passion is going to be your starting point. It's that's what's going to help you keep you disciplined, a good work ethic, and then just good organization is what's going to get you to your goal. Passion is just the starting point for that, but it's definitely not going to be the fuel that sustains you to your end goal.
That's awesome. I think I remember a quote by Simon Sinek. If you guys have never heard of him, he's really good on speaking about passion. He talks about passion is your why. He said it's not your what. Your why will always define what you do, and that thing might change all the time, but why you do it should stay the same. And I think you're speaking a lot into that. Anyway, Nader, I appreciate the talk, brother. Have a great day.
Yeah, it's been great being here.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Relentless Podcast. You can find us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Just search for Relentless. Make sure to check back in next week for more content.